Hey YouTube, this is Pertain to Rose. How you doing today? So I want to talk about bartering, and I'm gonna make this a short video day. Uh, just one of those days. I'm being lazy. But bartering, I want to talk to you. People stock up to barter things with alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, bags of tobacco, tobacco tubes, uh, soaps, things of that nature. These take up a lot of room in your stockpiles. Why not consider bartering now instead of waiting till when something happens? So, let's say you don't have the means to can something. You don't have the means to can. But you know this lady across town from church or wherever, and she cans all the time. That's like part of her livelihood. She cans what comes out of her garden. She buys extra meats in cans or gets meat from the food bank and cans it. It's part of her everyday thing. She just loves to do it. Why not getting a hold of her and talking and say, hey, I'd like to barter with you? And barter now for those things that you know is going to last a lot longer than a tin can at the store. You know, something bartered in mason jars, or bartered, canned in mason jars lasts so much longer. As long as you keep them in a dark, cold, dry place. Consider bartering now so you're not out there spending a fortune. You may have something that dear lady wants, whether it's material. Let me say you have a huge thing of material at home you're not even using. It's just thrown in a bag back in the back of the closet. Maybe she likes to sew. You may want to say, hey, I got all this material here that I think you could really use. I'd like to barter with you over some of your canned products. She may be willing to do that. Keep that in mind. You know, if you bought coffee back when it was on sale and you got it for really low prices, she may want a couple cans of coffee exchanged for a couple mason jars filled with meats or vegetables from her garden. You may want to start thinking things through now. How can I make this work? Bartering is a great tool. But when stuff happens, I mean, are you rural? Do you have a lot of neighbors that you can barter with? Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe everybody in your neighborhood is already in their 80s and 90s. They might not live till when things happen. You know, really keep this in mind. So start bartering. And people that grew up during the Depression, they know how to pickle stuff. They really know how to can stuff. You know, they grew up with this mentality. Go learn from them. Say, hey, if I buy all the product, the meats and stuff, and the mason jars and the lids, or you tell me what all I need, the salts, the vinegars, whatever I need, oils, can you teach me how to do this? You know, or maybe they just can with water. However they do it, ask them to teach you. Buy the product and give them a couple cans for doing so. You know, that's a lot of time that they took out to teach you how to do this. And some people actually can in their Instapot. Keep that in mind. Learn how to do it now. Learn how to do it now. If you take 20 minutes of your day every day and go on YouTube, you can teach yourself a lot of these things that are quick and easy Learn how to pickle your vegetables. That's a great thing to do. I mean, not everybody likes that flavoring, but if you pick the right flavors, it really helps. Lemon and garlic or whatever, and pepper. It really does help in the long run. So every little thing you put towards your prepping needs is a plus. But really consider bartering. Do it now and see what you can come up with. You may have a friend next door that has a bunch of kids. Hey, I got all these cereals I'm not going to eat up. Can we barter them? Maybe there's something you have that I need. Keep that in mind now. If you're stockpiling, those cereals are not going to last, but they got a bunch of kids that'll eat them up. Really consider doing it. When my grandmother was finding ways to live frugal, she decided that she was a single person and the neighbor across the street was a single person. They were both widowed. They were like, why don't we share some of our bills? They didn't move in together, but they decided to share a garbage contract so that only one of them got their garbage picked up, but the other one paid half the bill. So they shared that garbage can. It's things that you can do. Think about it. You have a neighbor that could use a little extra help, and you could use a little extra help. Put your brains together. Brainstorm. Brainstorm. Really, really think about these things. Because you're going to be thinking about these things when things happen. I mean, realistically, is everybody going to be able to bug out? What if it's wintertime? Any fluids that you take along is going to freeze? Do you know how to make a stove or a rocket stove? Or you really got to start thinking these things through. So not everybody's going to be able to bug out. They won't be able to keep their insulin cold. Or, certain medications that have to be refrigerated. Are they going to have enough to get them through? Some people are going to be stuck in their homes. And it could be for any kind of reason. We do not know. Have you walked 20 miles a day with 60 pounds on your back? So are you going to be able to bug out? Go out and walk and really, really, really take a whatever walk ped or whatever they call those little things that you put on your wrist or your ankles that tells you how many miles you walked. And then try it again the very next day with 60 pounds on your back. See if you get the same distance. Your body's going to hurt. You may want to practice walking now every day with some kind of backpack on. That's going to, you might want to start out with a lighter weight and work your way up because if you're going to bug out. You may want to think about having a stroller or a wagon of some sort, maybe with a toboggan on top to keep your products somewhat dry. You just start thinking these things through. Not all of us are going to be able to bug out. We might be stuck in our homes. Do we have enough to survive in our homes? I feel for Colorado. They had the wildfires and the tornadoes, and they just been hit every which way, and now they got snow. There's few that's stuck in their home, few that had to bug out because of the wildfires. They just got hit one after another. One after another. If you ever been over the pass there in Colorado, you know how dangerous it is, going towards Idaho. Those passes are dangerous. You don't want to be up driving on those passes. Especially if you're not used to driving in the snow. You definitely don't want to go over them. But keep these in mind. Keep this stuff in mind. Where's your paperwork at? Your important paperwork, your important documents. Are they in a fire safe proof box? Make sure it's something you can pick up and carry. That way you can get your important documents with you. You know, you can grab it and run. You may want to think these things through to, hey, I can grab that and run. It has all my paperwork and it has all my identification, my birth certificates, my social security, all that. And it's a lockbox. But back to the bartering. When I was growing up, all the neighbors helped each other. They were always trading stuff on and off. Hey, I really need a cup of sugar to make this, but I got this, and I know you like this vanilla extract or whatever that I made a year ago. I'll give you this if you hand me off a cup of sugar. It was done all the time. Everybody helped each other. Now, most people don't even know who their neighbors are. You might want to get out there and start meeting your neighbors now before things happen. And learn. Learn how to do these things. Once they see you're willing to help them, they're going to be 10 times more willing to help you. They're going to be like, oh yeah, you're the one who came through for us. These are things to really think about now. Practice your bartering skills. Really practice. It's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of money. You could really think things through. If you wait until something happens, people might not be so willing to barter with you. But if they already know you and have been bartering with you for quite a while, they might be more willing to barter with you. So, how many people do you know in a severe depression is willing to give up their canned meat? Not too many. Not too many people at all. So, seriously think these things through. Are you going to have enough that's going to last you? Really? Are you really going to have enough stuff that's going to last you? You definitely need canned meat, canned vegetables. You really need the drinks, the peanut butter, the almonds or whatever, or walnuts, or I don't eat tree nuts because I'm allergic to them, but things can be stockpiled. Keep in mind that they can go bad. You don't want to be eating bad product. But these are things that are barterable too. That lady down the street would love to have a bag of walnuts. Nuts are getting expensive. You got them in your supply. She has canned deer meat. You may want to think about it. Another thing my mom used to do is she would go out and she would buy an entire basket of some baking apples, Granny Smith apples or something, whatever she could get the cheapest. And then she would come back and she would call the ladies on the street and say, listen, I want to make apple dumplings. If I buy all the products, will you guys go in with me on those products? I will split it up evenly so we all pay the same amount. And then we can split the apples, the dumplings, when they're done. And then you can take them home and freeze them. Quite a few ladies, about 6 of them, used to get together. She usually had to go out and buy a couple more baskets of apples to get through all these. But they all wound up with a ton, and we had apple dumplings all winter long. So apple dumplings is a cheap thing to make. And you can freeze them. You got your dough, your products that you need for your dough to wrap around them. Your butter and, cinnamon or whatever you're putting in the center of your apple dumplings when you core them out. Really think. Learn how to do these. These are easy to make things. that you can make and put in your freezer. Get the whole neighborhood in on it. Everybody can split the cost. Apple dumplings are quite big. You know, that's a good, fast, healthy thing to eat. Well, once all the butter and sugar's in there, it's not so healthy. But listen, these are things that are a great way. Maybe you have a friend that you can get together with and say, hey, I really want to learn how to do this. I don't know how to do this. How about us to go take a class on this and really learn it? And then used to get together and practice doing it together. These are awesome things to do. You may want to think about bartering now. That's one of your biggest things. Barter now. Brush up on your bartering skills. You definitely want to learn to be able to trade off and have enough people that you can barter with. Start bartering now with them. Hey, tell them, say, this is what I'm learning how to do, or this I don't know how to do, but I notice you do. Is there any way I can barter with you to, to have some of that product? Find out what they need. And then make sure you have it. Keep these things in mind, people. I love you. I didn't want to make this long, but I'm yapping at the gums today, drinking my coffee, so my mouth is going. I love you so much, YouTube. I am so happy that I am friends with you, and I am thankful. I hope you stuck through to the end. These are some great tips to learn. Let's all do them together. Bye, YouTube.